And it's very important that people do become aware of this energy. It really is very important because it's the power of emotions that I talk about so often when I talk about the power of emotions actually being a language that you speak with, the power of thoughts, feelings and emotions. This is literally a language, and you use this language to talk to the field. This is how you pray. This is how it all happens. This is the language of the field. And understanding how this works is crucial to the whole thing, because it is through understanding this that you can also interact with yourself on a cellular and biological level. One of the most important things and one of the most significant things you can do by being aware of these emotions and how you use these emotions and starting to become aware of the nature of energy and how everything is made up of light and sound, you can begin to understand that you can recode your DNA by being in the correct emotional state. This has been shown with the work of people like Gregg Braden. Absolutely incredible work, and it's been shown with the work of Masaru Emoto, who I've spoken about on other shows with you. These people showed that with emotions you can actually recode your DNA. See, we have 3% of our DNA that's active. That's it, just 3%. 97% of our DNA is what's termed junk DNA. But it's not junk at all. It's divine DNA. This is DNA that's been blocked off from us in order to keep us locked into this 5 sense reality. That we believe this is all there is. What we can perceive with the 5 senses is all there is. And we have been so conditioned by our education system, which is completely directed at the left brain. All of it is directed at the left brain. And a lot of the drugs they give you and a lot of the food additives and a lot of the things they do are designed to block off the chatter between your left and right brain. This is especially what mobile phones are designed to do. All of the wireless technology is designed to stop your left brain communicating with your right brain. Because they want to keep you out of your right brain. They want to keep you out of your right hemisphere at all costs. It's very important that they keep you out of your right hemisphere, because once people can access their right hemisphere and start to actually speak with their right hemisphere and think with their right hemisphere, they start to see the connection that we all have to the field. And they begin to learn how to use a lot of these other higher senses that are completely blocked off to us. And there's a lot of these higher senses, folks. You just think about it. We've got 3% of our self activated. 3% of what our potential is active through the 3% of our DNA that is active. So there's still another 97% of our self and our consciousness that most people have yet to know. And this is 97% of themselves that most people simply don't know about and don't know how to access or use. They don't know what it's there for, but it's there. So there's a lot more going on in reality than what we actually think is reality. So we'll talk a little bit more about things like that and about a few more other things that are going on in the world after the break. And I will talk to you in a few minutes. Well, welcome back, folks. So what if what we perceive to be reality is in fact nothing of the sort? What if what we perceive to be reality is a carefully spun illusion that is based on our beliefs and our perceptions and upon what we've been taught by our education system? But what if what we've been taught by these institutions is nothing at all like reality? Because that's exactly what's going on. Now, folks, I've been talking today about ways we could possibly defeat this New World Order. But however it's done, it needs to be done in a peaceful manner. It needs to be done in a state of love. There is no violent revolution that's going to work with this. The best tool we have is to wake people up to what's going on. Because we need the support of the people. People need to understand that we're all connected and that we don't have to go by these rules. We don't have to live in a world that is run the way it is. We can change this world for the better, and we can do it in a peaceful manner. We only need to address what is being done to the world by 300 families. This is what I refer to as the parasitic bloodline. They seem to be infected by some type of psychic parasite that makes them feed on fear and makes them project fear into the rest of the world. They seem to be completely and utterly absorbed by the false ego and a need to dominate the rest of the human species. But the human species will never evolve. It will never evolve into anything higher. It will never reach any type of spiritual nirvana or enlightenment or even come to terms with itself while it is being run by these bloodlines. And again, you can't hate these people for doing what they do. You've got to understand that these people are sick. They have an infection. They have a mental, psychological infection. These are very inbred bloodlines, so it's also quite possible that they're just too inbred. But there are actually two distinct different types of bloods on this planet. There is the Rh positive and Rh negative strains of blood. And you'll find that the Rh negative is what this elite bloodline consists of. And these people are actually quite a small minority of the entire blood gene pool on this planet. You'll find also that the two bloodlines aren't compatible. Like a Rh positive person cannot receive a transfusion from Rh negative blood. You'll find that if a Rh negative woman becomes pregnant to an Rh positive man, she'll usually have a miscarriage. The body will usually reject the fetus. Some of the reason for this is possibly because the Rh negative bloodline has a lot more copper in it than Rh positive blood. Rh positives, of course, most of the human race are Rh positive, but Rh negative contains a lot more copper, as I said, so this is also why the royal bloodline are referred to as blue bloods, because copper, of course, makes things go blue. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting here that all Rh negative people are bad people. I'm simply pointing out that there is an actual noticeable genetic difference between these two bloodlines. You can see on a genetic level that these are two completely different bloodlines that exist on this earth, and the two just simply don't mix. They simply don't mix at all. This is why when some people say to me, well, George Bush was the 13th cousin of Elizabeth II, this is a long way off. You're probably the third cousin of Elizabeth II. Well, no, I'm not, because I'm Rh positive blood, the same as most people are Rh positive blood. You'll find that both George Bush and Queen Elizabeth II are Rh negative blood. So there is a significant genetic difference in these two bloodlines. So there's really no denying that there is a ruling bloodline that exists on this planet, because you'll find that all the world leaders, all of these people that are doing all this stuff, are all Rh negative. So this line does exist, and these are the blue bloods, and this is the Danish royal family, the British royal family, the houses of Rothschild, Rockefeller, the Bush bloodline. I mean, all of these people, they're all related, and they're all responsible for what's going on the planet. And they've tricked all of the people down the line into obeying what this 1% of Earth's population is dictating. That's all it is, folks, 1% of the world's population. These 300 families. And their most successful tool that they've used in taking over the world and making things the way they are now is television. It truly is the most successful weapon that these families ever employed, because television just feeds people disinformation all day. It justifies war, it justifies poisons in your food, it justifies poisons in your drinking water. It justifies using known mind control chemicals, such as fluoride, in all of your products, and your water, and your toothpaste, and heavy metals, and dioxins, and carcinogens in all of your food, to justify the genetic manipulation of your food, and the genetic manipulation of the human race through the consumption of genetically modified foods. That's what TV does. And nobody goes out and looks at the world for themselves and has a look at what's really going on.